You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
Hello and welcome to Six Figure Dog Business. I'm your host Ty Brown of SixFigureDogBusiness.com. Now this is the show where we teach you how to start or grow your dog-related business to a healthy six-figure per year income. Now today's show is a continuation. In our last episode we were talking about how to create the perfect ad. There just got to be too much stuff that I had to break it up into two different episodes, and so today is a continuation. So stick right with us. We're going to come back with some great information on how to make sure that your ads get you the most dollars in your pocket.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back after a short pause.
Petco, where the pets go. Petco, where the pets go.
Pet Life Radio has tail-wagging, fur-flying, fabulous deals for our listeners from Petco. Get $6 off your order of $60 or more and up to 40% off the entire Petco site. That's right. But that's not all. Because you're a Pet Life Radio listener, you'll also get free shipping on your order of $49 or more. $6 off, up to 40% off, and free shipping from Pet Life Radio and Petco. To get these awesome deals, go to PetcoDeals.com. That's PetcoDeals.com.
Petco, where the pets go.
Welcome to GoDaddy.com's Internet Cloud. First, get your domain name from GoDaddy.com. Then, make your business and personal internet dreams come true.
Go to GoDaddy.com. Use promo code SFDB101. Get a .com domain name for just $7.49. SFDB102 for 10% off your order. SFDB103 for $5 off $30 or more on any items. Or SFDB104 for 20% off 1-year hosting plan.
GoDaddy.com. Domains, websites, and everything in between.
This year, Americans are expected to spend a jaw-dropping $36 billion on their pets. From lighted leashes to high-end spa products, the discriminating pet owner can find just about anything to pamper his or her pet. Hi, this is Michelle Fern. Join me every week for Best Bets for Pets, where we'll talk about the latest pet products and talk to the companies that make them. Best Bets for Pets, every week, only on PetLifeRadio.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Okay, we're back. And if you haven't listened to our previous episode on advertising, please do. Don't jump ahead because I'm actually in the middle of an entire thought here. And so if you listen to me starting right now, you're going to get lost. And so in our last episode, I finished up talking about how to craft an offer so that your prospects call you and talk to you and, actually are motivated to pick up the phone or get on the website or what have you and use your service. And so the fourth step of having the perfect message, and as a quick review, step 1 was the right headline, step 2 is the right copy, step 3 is the right offer, step 4 is urgency. Don't just give them a way to get in touch. Give them a reason to get in touch. Give them a reason to do it right now. Don't wait till tomorrow, folks. Build some urgency. Offer expires on this date. Limited supplies. Only 25 available at this price, etc. Those are just some examples of things that you can put into your ad. But many people need a push to act, and you need to build that urgency. One of the biggest mistakes I see is, people just put it out there that, hey, we've got this service. We hope you come visit us. Forget that. Give them a great offer and give them the urgency to do it right now. Your job here is to get money into your pocket. Your job here is to recoup the investment that you just put out in buying the advertising in the first place. So don't put the ad out there and hope that one day they visit. Give them a reason to visit your site, call your number, come to your store, whatever, and give them a reason to do it right now. The fifth thing I want to talk about is a bonus. Offering a limited time bonus, now this kind of goes hand in hand with urgency, but offering a limited time bonus only helps build the urgency even more. It's also a way to upsell. For example, a dog walker could offer a limited time bonus of 10 days walking for the price of 8. And that expires on this date. And so there's the urgency plus a bonus, plus an offer. You could offer a limited number of books, as a free gift for coming in right now. And, a book, you could get a book really cheap and give it away as an added gift. You could offer a bonus of a free bottle of shampoo if you're a dog groomer. If you're a veterinarian or a veterinarian office, you could offer free nail clipping and anal gland expressing, if they come in this week, And so add a bonus. For example, here at our company, we recently ran an ad, a direct mail piece that we sent out. And the bonus was that customers would get access to our membership website for a year at no cost if they took us up on this offer. Now, it cost us nothing to give this access. It takes 5 minutes to set that up. Yet many of the clients mentioned that it was the main reason that they bought the offer. And so it was a bonus that took, no real effort or money on our part, but resulted in a much higher response than we would have gotten without it. And so what's something like that you could do? I've mentioned some things that cost money. Like I say, if you were to give away a book or shampoo, that's going to cost you money. But, think about it. A bottle of shampoo is going to cost you $4 or $5. Hey, is it worth $4 or $5 to get a customer? If you're a groomer, that might be giving you $50 a month, for the next 4 years. That's $2,400. I'll give $5 to get $2,400 back any day of the week. And so think about a bonus that is valuable to your customers that isn't going to take too much off of your bottom line, if anything. The number 6 thing that I want to point out is what I call a reply mechanism. That's a fancy way of saying, what do you want your prospects to do? Do you want them to call you? Do you want them to come in this weekend? Do you want them to register at this phone number? Do you want them to visit this website? You need to push them in a direction, and this is where you can also track your effectiveness. Now, I had mentioned this in the first episode that one of the main things you need to do with your advertising is make sure you're tracking how effective it is. If you're not tracking how effective it is, you could be making some huge mistakes. And a lot of business owners, unfortunately, are. And so let's think in our minds, for example, let's take 10 business owners who advertise and ask them about their most recent ad campaign. Ask them how much they spent advertising. They probably know that. How much money was returned to them as a direct result? They probably don't know that. How many do you think out of 10 would know the answer to that question? I'd guess that it's maybe 0. Maybe 1. I doubt it'd even be 2. Let's even ask the next question. How many of those 10 business owners even thought about it? How many of them, as they were writing that check for that advertising piece, thought, okay, I need to make sure it brings in this amount of money, or boy, I hope it brings in this amount of money, or even thought about it as they were writing that check? But think about it. How much sense does that make if you're making an investment and you have no idea how much money you made or lost? And so, take, for example, do you invest in mutual funds or do you invest in stocks? Have you ever been plunking money into something for months or years and someone says, wow, you've been investing in the stocks for a while. How much money have you made? And you're like, I don't know. I don't even know if I've lost it. I might have lost it. I might have made some. I have no idea. How ridiculous does that sound that someone would spend all that money investing in the stock market and have no idea what it did for them? Well, that's what most business owners do with their advertising. They have no idea how effective their advertising has been, and so they have no way of knowing, are they making money or losing money? And so let me give you a number of ways you can track the effectiveness of your ads. One thing that we do a lot at our company here is we use toll-free numbers. Personally, the company that I use is a company called Call8.com, and I have no relationship with them, so if you use them, I don't make any money. It's just the one that I use, and it's KALL8.com, so Call8.com. And so the reason why I use it is because for very cheap, you can get a toll-free number. You can set it up to go to voicemail. You can redirect it towards your business line, your cell phone, etc. And so for each campaign we do, we set up a number just for that campaign. And I believe it's like $2 a month. And so if you can't afford $2 a month, you might want to consider whether or not you should be in business. But it's $2 a month plus minutes. But it's money well spent. It allows me to track the ROI. For example, on our last mailer, that we mailed out to 1,000 homes, there was a toll-free number on that piece of mail that went out. And so every call that came in, we knew exactly where it came from. It came from that mailer. Couldn't have come from anywhere else. And we were able to track, okay, we had this many calls, it resulted in this many sales, the advertising cost us this much, okay, we lost money. In that case, we're still waiting to see, this is just about a week old that we mailed it out. But in any case, I'm able to track that because I attached it to something that is trackable. Now, you can do the same thing with a special email address. You can do the same thing with a specific landing page. That's one that we've done a lot. For example, on a mailer we've sent out before in the past, we've had them go to communicanine.net / special offer or whatever. And so we track the leads that come in through those pages. And so you can do something like put a name in the ad for someone that doesn't even exist. Maybe that sounds sneaky, but I don't think it's unethical. You could say, call Martha to get your deal, and then you can track how many people call for Martha. And the next time you run a different ad, call Susan, and the next time and so you can track how many people call for that person. Now, of course, when somebody calls for Martha, Martha's never available, but you're happy to help out when they call. And so it's just another way for you to track, because the worst thing you can do is keep pumping money into something and you're not getting any calls, you're not getting any visitors to your site or what have you. Now, as far as your reply mechanism goes, I also want you to think in terms of being very simple here. Too many times people are inundated. If you read an ad, it's call this number or visit this Twitter page or go to this on Facebook or email us here or go to this website. And there's 6 or 7 different ways and it all gets muddled up. 1, maybe 2. In most of the cases we do 1. We either send them to a website, and maybe it's a page on our website, or maybe it's a whole different website set up just for this reason, which is simple to do, or we send them to a phone number. Occasionally we'll do both. We'll have a phone number and a website, but again, you don't want to get too crazy and too much on there because you just confuse the person, you confuse the customer, and they're not in really a great position to make any choice. They just get muddled down with all too much information. And so, like I say, step number 6, have a reply mechanism that you can check and that you can track. Now, lastly, a great ad is going to offer a guarantee. Let me ask you, do you offer a guarantee? And if the answer is no, then let me ask you, why not? A guarantee is a great way to have you take all of the risk. Think about it. Most companies ask their clients to share the risk. They say, come spend money with us, and it's a risk because if essentially this is what they're saying. This wouldn't be good to put on an ad. But, they say something to the effect of, hey, come spend money with us, and it's a risk because if you don't like it, sorry, that's the deal. Hey, come to our grooming shop, and, the idea is in the back of the person's head, what if they're a lousy groomer? Hey, come use our dog training service. What if they're a lousy dog trainer? Hey, come do this, come do that. Well, what if they're not good? And so subliminally, the person realizes they're sharing the risk by taking advantage of the offer. And so you need to be thinking in terms of what do you guarantee, what kind of guarantee can you offer them so that you take all of the risk instead of sharing it and make it so much easier for them to take their wallet out of their pocket and invest in you and invest in your solution. For example, here in my company, at my training company, we offer a 45-day money-back guarantee to our customers on training. So they can try us out, they can use us, they can have several sessions within that 45 days and still get their money back if they don't like what we're doing. Now, we even go further than that. We actually, if they go beyond that 45 days and they do the whole program with us and they decide, boy, our dog's not as good as we thought he'd be, we work with them, more for free. Now, I've heard people say that my guarantee is crazy because, oh my gosh, can you imagine going to someone's house for 3 dog training sessions and they ask for their money back? I couldn't afford that. Or, can you imagine how much people are going to abuse that? Well, here's the truth that most people aren't cheats. Most people are good. Most people, for the most part, are honest. In fact, in all of our years of doing this, we've never had a request for money back. Now, let me tell you this, we bust our butts to make sure that we're giving, our customers the absolute best service that we possibly can, and so we're doing everything so that they're happy. But at the same time, we've had customers that aren't the best customers in the world, but, they don't follow through on their dog training. They don't get the best results because they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And they realize that. And so we've never had somebody ask for their money back. We have had a handful of people, who go through the whole program and their dogs aren't quite as good as they should be, and we'll work with them extra for free. We follow through on our guarantee. It's not a big deal because it's very, it's maybe 1% or 2% of our clients, and so it's not that often, and so it doesn't hurt us every now and then to do a little bit of extra training. But it takes the risk away from our clients. And so, especially us who we're selling a big ticket training, where our training is $1,500, $2,000, $3,000, it makes it so much easier for them to invest that if they know that they've got that safety net there. Now, you might be the dog walker who's charging $20 and say, well, they don't need a safety net for $20. Well, people do. People think about $20 sometimes the same way they think about $1,000. And so what kind of guarantee can you offer your folks that, isn't going to be so easy to abuse, but is also going to make you stand out and make it so easy for them to take advantage of your offer? And so now I want to take a quick break here. When we come back, I'm going to explain to you the different types of advertising that's typically available to us as pet business owners and what ones you might want to use and what ones you might not. So stay right with us.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back after a short pause.
Every pet is unique. Maybe they're gray in the muzzle, yet young at heart. Maybe they're growing out of the puppy stage and into their paws and ears. Or maybe they're just trying to maintain a more girlish figure. At PetSmart, we have the right food for your pet at a great value for you. PetSmart. Be better together.
Go to PetSmartDeal.com and save up to 30% on Pawsome gifts for the pets and pet people in your life. Toys, collars, leashes, PetSmart gift cards, treats, and more. Go to PetSmartDeal.com today. PetSmartDeal.com.
I don't make any decisions about who to hire without going to Angie's List first.
You'll find reviews on home repair to healthcare, written by people just like you.
With Angie's List, I know who to call, and I know the results will be fantastic.
Angie's List. Who you can trust.
Go to angieslist.com/best and get 25% off any subscription. That's angieslist.com/best. BEST.
I'm not much of a reader, but I do wish I were more well-read.
There are so many great books coming out. I wish I could find a way to keep up.
Audible.com makes it easy to stay well-informed and catch up on your reading simply by listening. Audiobooks from Audible turn downtime into uptime. You'll be more productive and become well-read.
Now I'm able to catch up on all the great books I've been wanting to read.
With Audible, I feel smarter.
Pet Life Radio listeners, try Audible.com now and get your first 30 days of Audible Listener Gold membership plan free. And get a free audiobook. Choose from over 100,000 titles. To get this great deal, go to audibledeals.com. That's audibledeals.com.
Attention passengers, please fasten your seatbelts, put your seat bags and sleeping pets in their full upright position, and prepare for takeoff.
Pet Life Radio presents Travel Tales, the show where you'll get great travel ideas on perfect places for you and your pet. From Paris to paradise, south of the border to the South Seas, Travel Tales will give you cool tips on fun vacation destinations to travel with your pet, pet-friendly hotels, and advice on how to travel safely and happily with your furry best friends. So, get ready to pack the bags and the bones with your Travel Tales hosts, Susan Sims and Nicholas Vezlowski, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Okay, and we're back, and I wanted to real quick just do a quick review before I get into the next section here on what I wanted to talk about, because I'm just realizing just how important this crafting the right message is. And so let me review the steps, and if you hadn't been taking notes up until this point, take some now. At least get these steps down so you can think about them. Number one, have a headline that's benefit-driven that gets somebody's attention. Number two, have copy that tells more so that you can sell more. Have copy that educates and communicates benefits, not just features. Number 3, come up with an offer that's compelling, that's interesting, that is hard to resist. Number 4, have some urgency built into your message, so that people take action now and don't lollygag and don't sit on the fence, but take action now. Number 5, what kind of bonus can you offer so that people are really enticed to take action now? Number 6, think about your reply mechanism, how you want people to reply to your ad, and how you can track that. And lastly, think about what kind of guarantee you can put in your message. Now, I want to spend this next section talking about the different types of advertising that's typically available. Now, obviously, I can't cover everything, but I'm going to cover here what I think are the most popular mediums, the most readily available to us as pet business owners. And so, first thing I want to talk about is direct mail. Now, direct mail is sending out postcards and letters and things like that. Now, I hear a lot of people say direct mail is dead. No one reads their mail anymore. People just throw it away. And to those people, I say, you're right. And I say you're right so that they don't do it. Because we do direct mail and it's profitable. Now, why is it profitable? Number 1, it's profitable because we follow the message formula. Where we've got a message and we've got good copy and we've got an offer and we've got bonus and we've got urgency and we've got all that good stuff. A lot of direct mail that's done is just kind of done in a bad way. There's no offer, there's no urgency. And so we follow the formula well when we do it. But direct mail has a lot of pros to it. You can target certain groups or certain zones. Let me give you a couple resources here. InfoUSA.com is a database. And so you can go into InfoUSA.com and you can rent a list of pet owners in your area. And there's other list brokers out there. InfoUSA is just one of the bigger ones. In fact, little hint here, there's a lot of libraries, depending on the state that you live in, a lot of libraries have free access to InfoUSA.com. It's usually a smaller version, so you can't get tons of leads. You have to go back several days in a row. But InfoUSA.com is a great resource. And so you can go in there, get a mailing list together, and mail out to people. And so you can target, like I say, certain groups, certain zones using InfoUSA.com. And so you can really get down to the type of people that you're interested in talking to. It's easy to measure your response on direct mail. Like I say, you can just put something in there so that it's easy to measure who's responding as a result of your mail. Whether it's a 800 number or, a website or what have you. You can even personalize your mailings. That's something we've never done, but that is a pro that if you have the right list and the right software, you can even, get it printed out so that it's addressed to each person, each prospect individually. Now, as far as cons, sometimes mailing lists can be inaccurate. They're not always up to date. As of late, mailing and printing costs have been going up, and so that's obviously a con. Now, response rate is also low. A typical response rate for a good piece is 1% to 2%, meaning, if you send out 100, you get 1 or 2 leads out of that. If you send out 1,000, it's, 10, is considered a good response. And so that's why it's important to make sure your message is perfect so that it pays off. And so it does take a lot of prep as well. That's another con. Let me give you one more resource as it comes to direct mail that we've been experimenting with lately with some good results. It's a program that the post office does. It's called Every Door Direct. And basically what it is, and so just go on Google and do a search for Every Door Direct, U.S. Post Office or something like that, and you'll find what I'm talking about. But what it is, it's a program where you can choose a zip code and you can just send a piece of mail to every person in that zip code, but it's really cheap. And so the postage is something like 14.2 cents per household. And so it's very cheap. And so, yes, it is spray and pray. And yes, I did advise you a little bit against that. But it's cheap enough that, you may want to consider doing it because you're going to get your message out there to a lot of people. And, we do know that about half of households are going to have dogs, or not quite half, but close to half are going to have dogs. And so, so the chances are pretty decent that if you're a dog-related business, that you're going to be getting, with 1,000, you're going to be getting 400 of those into the hand of dog owners. And so, Every Door Direct, InfoUSA.com, those are a couple good resources if you're wanting to do direct mail. Now, as far as another piece of direct mail that you could do is Valpak, Money Mailer, one of these group mailers. Now, the pros here is it's a shared cost, so it's much cheaper. You can get out your message out there to a lot more people at a much cheaper rate. Again, it's easy to measure response on this, but the cons are you're at the mercy of where they're going to be mailing to. It's not targeted at all. Like if you wanted to just get to pet owners, You can do that through InfoUSA. And so, you could send out, instead of 10,000 money mailers, you could send out 3,000, through InfoUSA, and you know that they're all getting to pet owners. Where you send out 10,000 with Valpak, and who knows how many you're going to get to pet owners. There is a low response with these mailers as well because there's a lot of ad clutter. A typical money mailer or Valpak is going to have dozens of ads, and so yours could easily get lost in the shuffle. The next thing I want to talk about are magazines. Most communities are going to have some sort of local magazine. Here in my area, here in Salt Lake, we've got a great Salt Lake magazine, very professional, very prestigious. And we've got other ones that are good magazines as well. But depending on where you are, you're probably going to have one, if not many, choices of magazines. In fact, in some areas, you're going to have the ability to advertise in pet-related magazines. My community, we don't have any pet-related magazines, but a lot of communities do. Now, the pros, you can make a very visually appealing ad. You can do big headlines and bold colors and things like that. And you typically in a magazine, you're going to get space for editorial content. You can write some good copy if you're doing a magazine ad. Also with magazines, the pros are that you can target certain demographics. And so go to any magazine and they should be able to tell you who their readership is, how old their readership is, how much money their readership makes, what kind of education their readership has, and if it matches with the demographic that you typically work with, hey, it might be a good match. And so that's a big pro, is you can really get your message in front of the type of people you're looking to target. Now, the cons are, again, due to ad clutter, there's typically a low response. It's very possible for someone to read a magazine and never even see your ad. There's also a lot of prep time, a lot of lead time, and it's getting costlier and costlier to run ads in magazines. Next thing is magazines' brother, newspapers. Newspapers, the pros are they reach a mass audience. You can specify the section you want. You can put it in the home and life section. You can specify where you want your ad. You can be flexible. If you're running an ad in a daily newspaper, you can change it out, if it's not working. Whereas a magazine, you can't really do that. And there's many newspapers that even have low-cost ad options. And a lot of newspapers, just being a newspaper, they carry credibility, and so that's a pro in your favor. Now, cons are that readership is way down. In fact, in advertising in newspapers, you can quite often miss the entire demographic of people that are under 39. And in fact, as far as that goes, costs have actually been going up. Newspapers are in big trouble, and so they're actually charging more on a national level. They're charging more for their rates, even though circulation's going down. So it's not always the most cost effective. But again, if you're looking to reach a mass audience and you can get into the right section, it could be for you. Radio. Now you can reach customers. The benefits here, you can reach customers in many areas. Their car, their work, their home. I don't know if you know this, but the average person listens to 3 or more hours of radio per day. Also, like with magazines, you can target your customers. They know a lot about their demographics. Each radio station does. And so you're in a good position to find the right station that's already, playing music for your type of customers. Cons are, the audience is getting more fragmented because there's a lot more radio stations today than there was before. You can't really demonstrate or show any sort of product or service on the radio. It's all, audio. You got really short time limits to make your pitch, 30 seconds, maybe 60 seconds, depending on which type of ad you buy. And another con is people sometimes have a hard time remembering key details. So make sure that there's just one call to action in a radio spot. It's not go to this website and call this number. It's call this number. It's this website, one or the other, not both. Make it very easy for them to remember. Next thing I want to talk about, Yellow Pages. The pros are you can reach customers who are ready to buy. Think about it. When people go to the Yellow Pages, they're about ready to make their purchase. They're not just browsing around for fun. And so, customers are typically ready to buy when they're in the Yellow Pages. You can fit a lot into an ad. You can write some good copy. And you have high penetration. Most homes have Yellow Pages, and so there's good penetration. Cons are people are using them less and less, and they're using the internet much more. Cons are you can only change your ad once a year. The other cons are, like I mentioned before, it's all advertisement, so people aren't there for other stuff. There's nothing to catch somebody's attention. They see your ad or they don't, but then they're gone. And so those are the cons. The last thing I want to talk about here are online ads, and I'm talking specifically about like Google ads and things like that, ad networks. Pros are you can get going quickly. You can get something going today, and you can start getting people to your website and leads today, whereas I don't know of any other ad medium that you can do that in. Done right, it can be very cost effective. You can target specific areas, specific keywords, so you can really target down, even down to the time of day that your ads run. And so it's a very good way to really only be speaking to your target audience. Now the cons are, it's very difficult to learn how to do it well, and it can be pricey even if you're off just a little bit. And so I've gone into detail here, and I hope you're taking notes, and I hope you're kind of trying to realize what the pros and cons are. The reality is I've used most of those styles of advertising throughout my training career. And I found that some of them have worked better for me and others have not worked better for me. And the only way to find that out is through testing. Now, the beauty of testing is that you can then scale if something's working well. And so I mentioned, let's say you've got this one ad and you run it this one way. Let's say it's a postcard that you send out to this type of person. And you send out, $1,000 worth of postcards and you get back $4,000 worth of business. Hey, that's a pretty good return. Well, what if you want to make a little bit more money next month? Why not put out $1,500 worth of postcards, $2,000 worth of postcards? If it's working and you can test it and prove it, then you can start scaling it up, and that's a way that you can grow your business fairly quickly, is by finding an advertising medium that works for you and predictably works for you. And so, folks, I've given you a very large brain dump over these last 2 episodes. I shared with you how to craft the right message, where you can be putting your message. I've shared with you just a whole host of things on how to think about advertising. The things I hear the most that frustrates me the most is people say, oh, that advertising doesn't work. Or I hear people say, advertising period doesn't work. And what they're really saying is, I've tried advertising and it didn't work for me. Well, you can't say that, because advertising obviously does work, or companies wouldn't keep doing it. So advertising does work, they were just doing it wrong. Think how ridiculous it would sound if I said, boy, I'm on a diet, but it's just not working. And someone's like, oh, well, what are you doing? Well, I eat a pizza every night religiously, and every night I have an ice cream sundae, and every morning I have bacon and sausage, and I'm doing every single day, I'm doing this diet. Well, guys, if the technique is off, it doesn't matter how consistent you are or what it's just not going to work. And so that's how so many people have done advertising. They did it wrong. And now they're saying, it doesn't work. And so as business owners, we need to be looking for every edge that we can find. We need to be looking for every unique thing that we can be doing. And advertising is one great way where we can test our message, we can test our USP, and test who we are to the marketplace and see what the marketplace thinks of us in terms of voting with their wallet. So I hope that you've taken some notes, and if you haven't, go back and listen to this again. I want you to really internalize this information and start to see some big results from your ad campaigns and the ads that you're running with your business. So if you're looking for any other information, just head to PetLifeRadio.com and go to Six Figure Dog Business. If you have any questions for me, email me at ty@PetLifeRadio.com or visit my website, sixfiguredogbusiness.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.